all these Christmas trees here. Da-da-da. And it's a display for Frozen, the West End musical, which I have not seen yet. So I've not been to a musical at all on this trip. Should I go see Frozen? Should I go see the Book of Mormon or some other musical that's playing? Let me know. Let's walk around. I have a feeling there's something wrong with this broadcast, but we'll give it a try. Maybe it's a bad signal here. There we go. Retta in the house. Retta, how is the video and audio quality? This is Covent Garden, yes. James Little. Sounds good. Okay, great. There's the Apple Store. There's the Frozen display. It's kind of surprising how quiet it is. I guess people are taking this COVID seriously. Ooh, look at the Christmas tree. Hello from Leeds in Yorkshire. Well, hello, Aiden Leeds. We have a nice looking Christmas tree here. What a really big base, huh? For that tree. Big tree stand. The Apple Market. Chow from Austin, Texas. Y'all looks and sounds good. Well, thank you. Maestro's in London. What's that all about? It's a good question. It's a very good question. I'm back in London, baby. But, as I explained in my last broadcast, the UK is now under Plan B restrictions. So we have to wear masks again on the subway, supposed to work from home, have to be vaccinated, get your boosters, all that good stuff. And so people are not out and about as much as usual. So the subway traffic in London is at 39% of normal. So just a month or two ago, before the Plan B, it was over 50%. President Biden is calling you to visit the States anytime soon. Scotland still have to wear masks more, yes. It's the same up here in Scotland, mate, yes. So Scotland has some serious restrictions as well. So since we got a couple of Scots here, what is going on in Scotland? Are you guys headed for independence from the UK? Or are you going to stick it out and stay in the UK? Everybody is waiting to see what happens up there. Yup. Uh-oh. Is that yup for independence or yup for staying in? I see the surveys in the UK show that Lesko Brandon ATX. I think you got a spelling mistake there. But yeah, I see the surveys here that most people think that Boris Johnson lied about Brexit. Oh my God. Big boy pants for Scots. Can you imagine? Boris Johnson lied about something? Well, at least that's what the majority of people in the UK believe, that he lied about Brexit. And most people think Brexit was a mistake, that it's not good for the country. Only 10% of Brexit voters think it was a success. That's not even all voters. That's Brexit voters. 10%. So yeah, it's not doing well. And there's a majority. It's a small majority that wants to rejoin the EU, which is quite hard when you wear a kilt. Yes, exactly. Well, you could wear big boy pants under your kilt, I guess. But yeah, so we'll see what Scotland does. And it's interesting that we're only 1 year out, and people are already. We already have a majority that wants to rejoin. And the thing is, if we follow current projections, it should only increase with time because amongst younger people are overwhelmingly in favor of rejoining. So it's really the older population where you find these people that don't want to rejoin. So as time progresses, and then the other thing, of course, is we haven't even seen the worst effects of Brexit yet, because a lot of the Brexit implementation and restrictions were delayed uh, until January of this year, as a matter of fact. So starting in January, there's been more imposition of some of the trade regulations and restrictions. So it's only going to get more difficult for people. Oh, there's another musical. Frozen. Yes, I was thinking of maybe seeing Frozen. What do you guys think? Is it worth seeing? Or you're saying the broadcast was frozen? Oh, that could be. I just walked through an alleyway there. D Philly 83 in the house. Life of Pi. We're back. Back in the UK. Back in the UK. Phantom of the Opera. Now there's a classic. How many years has this been playing? Leicester Square. That's where we're headed. Yes. So we were at Covent Garden, headed towards Leicester Square, and then Piccadilly Circus. Piccadilly Circus is quite empty at this time of day. There's the round table, number 27. There's the Book of Mormon. The Mormons are back. Has anyone here seen the Book of Mormon? And if you have, what do you think? There's the casino. Have you been exercising lately? I haven't been exercising lately, and I need to. So I was really good in 2020. I was getting, fit. 2020 was a good year exercise wise. Some of you may have seen my broadcast back then. I was walking 20 kilometers a day or more, some days 30 kilometers and 40 kilometers. So I was doing really well in 2020. 2021, I stopped doing that because I was busy traveling. And I let myself get out of shape. So we'll see about 2022. Hopefully, you saw it on Broadway. It's good. All right. So there you go. Book of Mormon was pulled from Glasgow Run. Oh, interesting. Look at this. Look what we got up there. Is that a spider web? I think it might be a spider web. There's another one. Spider-Man was here apparently. Euro, where were you when it hit 12 a.m. in 2022? No Paris fireworks. So where was I? I think I was in Paris, but I did not do any broadcasts. Probably should have. But yeah, took it kind of easy on New Year's this year. So here we are, Leicester Square. Batgirl being filmed in Glasgow. Oh, that's kind of cool. We got people flogging for this club for some reason. It's a gentleman's club. I don't know about these gentlemen's club. I don't know if a lot of gentlemen go to a gentleman's club. Things are quite strange in Europe with the Macron talk. The unvaccinated, yes. He hasn't backed down from, despite some pressure. Your pal helps with casting. Oh, that's cool, James. Did you get a role? Ask your friend for a role, maybe. A lot of casinos in the area here. Oh, we got the musician packing up. Violinist. Oh, not packing up, actually. She's about to play again. Thought she was packing up. She's actually just starting. Grazie. Not batty enough, but close. Ah. Euro, I need to write a letter to the Queen and tell her to invite you for tea. Well, that would be very nice of you. I think the Queen's been fairly busy this year. She didn't go on her normal Christmas holiday break, so instead she stayed home. It's a little unusual. She stayed home for Christmas. So that's Leicester Square. Kind of quiet tonight. Going to head over to Piccadilly Circus now. So Retta, what do you think of Newly? She likes chocolates and mints. Just saying, if you need something to take, there you go. You're on Reddit. Oh, that's awesome. We like Reddit. We've done very well on Reddit sometimes. So I did a broadcast from Grenoble. We went up on a ski lift. What do you call that? Like the cable cars. And they got over 100,000 live views from all those people on Reddit hitting the upvote. So we'll see if they like London. But you know what? I've walked up and down here. I didn't notice the spider webs previously. So I need to look up. Like that film says, don't look up. So there are spider webs everywhere. Oh, I did see the new Spider-Man movie. Who put you on Reddit? I don't know. The gods, the Reddit gods. We got a one from James Little. Thank you. So I don't know if you guys have seen the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. I saw it the other day. I saw it in 4DX 3D. So you get the advantage of 3D plus the advantage of 4DX. Uh, so I have to tell you, I've been to a few 4DX films now, mostly 3D ones, and it was good. I don't always enjoy the 4DX experience. It really depends on which film. In some films, it seems a little unnecessary, a little gimmicky, but in some films, it really enhances the film. And I thought Spider-Man was one of them. Another one was the Jungle Cruise. I thought that was amazing. So I don't want to give anything away in the film, but I will tell you there is a scene in Spider-Man where he transitions from someplace warm to someplace cold, 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 cold. And when that transition happens, uh, it's snowing in the film and it's snowing in the cinema. And I tell you, that is like, it's just like perfect. I mean, it really does enhance that whole experience when suddenly you see and feel snow falling down on you. Can you check the maker's backplate of the red phone boxes? Yeah, sure. See if they are made in Lion Foundry. Okay. Spoiler: Spider-Man is Peter Parker. Ah, but is he? It's a little bit more complicated than that, actually, as you might suspect. I really like the way they've been kind of redoing these classics with Spider-Man. We saw Batman redone, where Batman is still Bruce Wayne, but not necessarily the Bruce Wayne that from the previous versions of the film. Where's the red boxes? We got to go back. There's the neon screens from I don't know if it's neon, but the big screens at in Piccadilly Circus. Uh oh, did I lose you guys again? This happened once before. I was broadcasting and suddenly I lost everybody. Ooh, look at them all dressed up. No, inside the red phone box there can be a little LF too. LF. We'll take a look. All dressed up and nowhere to go. Look at that coat. Chicks are hitting the bricks. Let's go check out the red boxes. Oh, asking for someone to shoot them. Whoa. Look at that. Did you see how she's dressed underneath that coat? She had someone film that for her. You love the double decker buses. Yeah, they're quite nice. Euro, can I get a chick in that Times Square of London? Of course you can. I think you could get this girl in the white jacket. Wonder if the guy's name is John. Yeah, it could be, right? Oh, Hard Rock Cafe. Ah, there was just a Spider-Man ad there. Spider-Man. I do like watching films in London because they have the 4DX in so many places. It's very convenient, and they have a lot of luxury seating for the cinema. You know, you have the big leather seats, reclining seats. Uh, it's quite nice. Is it raining or before? So it's not raining now, but you can see the ground is wet. So yeah, must have been raining earlier. So I don't know when. I missed it. I've been walking out and about, and I was fortunate enough to avoid the rain. You should be really good at special correspondent covering the Ukraine-Russia border these days. It could be dangerous. Okay, so here we are at the red. We got to look for the back. So the backs are kind of covered, uh, so we cannot see any plates that might be hidden down there. But we could look in the inside, see if we see an LF. I don't see anything on the inside. So, so these two at least look stripped down. There's something up here. What does it say? Oh, it's been stripped away, whatever it was. So let's see. There's a couple more over there. Inside LF. Well, do you see an LF on the inside? Here's one with an actual phone. I don't see any LF. Where would I be looking for it? Up top. Let's look up top. I don't see anything up top. Let's check the other one in case I missed it. This is pretty barren. Often hard to spot. Let's check. We got two more over here. Let's go check these. Look, no top pane. Let's go look for the LF. There's two more. A lot of these are back to back. So this one does not have a top pane, so no LF. I don't see anything on the back that looks like a maker's plate. It's a Lock Sport. Ah, okay. This one has no LF. No luck, folks. No LF. No luck, folks. Do we need to payphones anymore? So I don't think we need payphones anymore. I know they've removed a lot of payphones in most of the major cities, right? You do see a few of them here in London. I know in Paris we removed almost all of them, but I think there's a requirement that this one has a back that we can see. Okay, so this one has a full back, exposed. And what do we have on the bottom? Look at this. We got a maker's plate. It says Karen Company. So there we go. So there's the baker's plate. The one at St. Paul's. Ah, okay. The next time I'm at St. Paul's, I'll check it out. So let's see if they don't have a pane on this one. Yeah, this is a Karen. So Maybe all of these are Karens because these are all close to each other. Where's the phone booth that Doctor Who uses there? You know that Euro would you be good doing TikTok lives? I guarantee that. I should do TikTok lives, but you have to find something really good and short to do. I tend to do longer broadcasts. The Karens will have a CF. Okay. It often is random. Okay. So I was saying in Paris, they're required to keep two payphones in each arrondissement, in each district. They have to have two because the state still sees it as a public service and that you should have two phones. But I can't even think of the last time I saw somebody actually using a payphone. Like, why would you use a payphone? Everybody has a mobile phone, and even if you didn't have a mobile phone, you would just ask someone on the street and say, "Hey, can I use your phone?" Right? In fact, if somebody's using a payphone, I would find it a little suspicious, like they're trying to call some place and not trace their number back to them. Because why else would you be using a payphone? Lots of iron foundry in Scotland. Then they were making a red job. So true. So yeah, I mean, that's the only reason I could think of to use a payphone is if you wanted to call someone and you just wanted to be 100% sure that they can't trace where the call is coming back from. In America, they'll tell you no. Tell you no what? That you can't use their phone. I don't know. I've watched these YouTubers make videos, and they ask people for their phones and stuff like that. We had one in town, the latest a while. Only drug deals went down on it. Yeah, exactly. Like that would be like a perfect example of using a phone. We do have Andrew from Scotland uses a payphone, but he uses that. I don't know why he uses that, but he uses that to play a trivia game, quiz game, where people call into him, and he asks questions, and that's quite fun. Tim, we had only one in town. Oh yeah. James Little sent a bomb. Wow. Thank you. I'm thanking you for a bomb. Cannot say that at the airport, otherwise I'd get in a lot of trouble. Cannot make jokes about bombs at the airport. They don't appreciate that. Although you could probably get away with it in Europe. I definitely would not do it in the US. In the US, they're very sensitive about anything security related. Yeah, think that was doing my sleuth work. Yeah, glad to do it. I'm gonna. You know what is now? Every time I see a red phone, you're gonna have me looking, see if I can find the LFs through the CFs. So it's all lit up down there. We're gonna head towards Green Park, and then I'm gonna catch the tube at Green Park. Yo, my man, you walk a lot. Well, like I said, I used to walk a lot. I don't really walk that much now. Back in 2020, I was averaging over 20 kilometers a day. And on a good day, I would do 30 or 40 kilometers. Back on my first year of Periscope, I was averaging about 40,000 steps or so. So, You know how we like to keep, we use our phones, and some people use Fitbit, but, keeping track of our steps, keeping track of our activities, very popular these days. Maybe you have an Apple Watch and you track your stats on there. Well, we had the CES show this year in Las Vegas, in person again. 2022, 2021 was virtual. And one of the new devices they showed off, wait for it, it's an activity tracker for cats. So you have a little like cat collar, you put it on your cat, and it starts tracking the steps and GPS and all that. And so you can see if your cat is staying in shape, how many cat steps he's taking a day, and all that. So it's kind of interesting. There are Denny, Lion, Karen, and Glasgow ones. All right, so it's 4 different kinds to look for. Euro, what's your purpose of traveling back and forth between the same countries within such a short time period? Are you traveling in your work? Says the voice. Can you see how the cat lays around? Yes, you can watch. Exactly. You'll see all the activity or inactivity of your cat. So if you're wondering if maybe your cat is running around when you're not looking at it, because you always see it laying down, now you'll have proof with your cat activity tracker. Here come the double-decker buses, voices. I hear voices in my head. Oh, we got some more phone booths. Let's see which one they are. Is it a CF? Is it an LF? Oh, it's back to back. I hate when they're back to back like this because I can't see the plate underneath. I wonder if I got in there. Oh, I guess maybe you guys can see it. Can you guys see it, or is it all just dark? Can you see it? This one's hard to open. Euro, you want to address my question? Oh, the voice. What's the purpose of traveling to all these countries so close? There's not really a purpose necessarily. It was too dark. Um, I gotta tell you, like London is a good example. So basically, I was like almost living in London last year because I was here for many months at a time. What happened in December is we had a lockdown in the UK, and they stopped all travel between the UK and France, and so you weren't allowed to travel to the UK. So I was not happy about that. And the restrictions just got lifted last week. So as soon as they got lifted, I decided to come back to London. So here I am. So I still have a lot of my stuff in London. So at a minimum, I had to come back to at least pick up my stuff. What do you think about Amazon? Are you a shopper? So you know what? I do not shop on Amazon very much. I used to say like never, like zero, but I have since purchased a couple of things on Amazon. But I typically don't buy from Amazon. But I do. I really love. We have in London. We have. I think it's 4 Amazon grocery stores, and I do love going to the Amazon grocery store. Your son was booked for a weekend in Paris, but got pulled. Oh no! Yeah, we had a lot of things canceled. Prime is seductive. Bye, says Bonnie. All right, Bonnie. Thanks for stopping in. Um, So I do really enjoy these Amazon Go stores. So if you're not familiar with them, it's owned by Amazon. It's kind of like a regular grocery store, right? You have all your usual things that you would buy at a grocery store. But the difference is there's no cash registers, there's no checkout of any kind. So you literally walk into the store, you take whatever you want off the shelf, and you walk out of the store. So it's incredibly convenient. There's no queue. So it doesn't really matter how many people are in the store, if the store is busy or not. Because even if it's busy, you walk in, you walk right out. There's no waiting. You just leave. I assume you combine your streaming with some kind of work. What type of work? Just curious. I don't know if I combine it with work. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm just on holiday. But uh, most when I do work, like most of the work that I do is stuff I can do from home or I can do anywhere. So I do a lot of computer related stuff, journalism and stuff like that. So I can kind of be anywhere. Wonder if that's the future, James. I think it is the future. I have to tell you. I mean, I was a fan of it just from the concept, even before going. But then actually experiencing it, it's incredibly liberating. You know, like give you an example. If you've ever gone to a store close to closing, you know that it creates a lot of stress for the staff, right? You go to a store, if you go to a store a few minutes before closing, uh, again, this is kind of cultural. What is a few minutes? So, in the US, UK, you can probably go even like 5 or 10 minutes before closing. In Paris, even if you go 30 minutes before closing, they get really worried, you know? So the staff is already telling you, uh, we're about to close, and they want you to hurry up and get out of there because they don't want to have to work late because you came at the last minute. Now, in the Amazon Go store, it literally makes no difference because when you go in late, they don't have to wait for you. You just get your stuff and go out. So it's super fast. So empathy, pleasure. So so it works out. It works out really well, like surprisingly well. So here we are at Green Park. Oh, by the way, we're at the Ritz. Let me take a minute to show you guys the Ritz. We got the Ritz Club, the Ritz Restaurant, and the Ritz Hotel. Euro, out of topic in your sense. Will U.S. Congress do anything to the former guy? Well, I don't know. It depends. It depends. That's a complicated question. First, they have to go through and get a lot of evidence, and then a lot is going to depend upon the midterm elections. Because if the Dems lose control of the House and Senate, the chances of them being able to do anything will be dramatically reduced. I watched an interview with the editor of the Dispatch right, which is a center right publication, and he said that Donald Trump should have been impeached within 48 hours of the January 6th incident. So he's like I said, he's the editor of a center right publication. He felt the Democrats messed up on the impeachment, and they felt they shouldn't have waited. They should have just immediately started proceedings uh, between the 6th and the 8th and rush that through, and the trial and removal as well. So it's a pretty interesting position. Scroll up, says the voice. Uh, the last thing I see from the voice is, what's your score on chess.com? Ah, wait a second. Is the voice who I think it is? The Voice. Are you in Sweden? I wonder if The Voice is who I think it might be. It was pretty clear cut. Yeah, that was James Little's position. Is like, why did they wait? Like they should have just pushed it through immediately. Waiting was probably not a good idea. But anyways, I was saying about the Ritz here. Uh, I watched a documentary on um, Caesar Ritz, who is the guy that started the Ritz company and the Ritz hotels. It's a pretty amazing. Oh, okay. Ah, so now at least I know who you are. Yeah. So I really don't even know what my score is on chess.com. Uh, I'll have to look it up. Didn't have the votes to impeach. Now, when you say impeach, do you mean impeach or remove from office? They might not have had the votes to remove from office, but impeach, they should have had enough votes. They only needed a simple majority. You have to remember, ultimately, they got 57 votes for conviction on Trump. So it's not the 2/3 that is needed, but 57 is already pretty impressive because uh, it shows some degree of bipartisan support. Swiss. So yeah, so Cesar, yes, Cesar Ritz from Switzerland. He managed some hotels early on. One in Monaco, another one in Switzerland, and he'd go back and forth. But before he did that, he was in Paris. So he got a start in Paris, and he was doing a lot of like low-paying menial jobs, right? And he finally got a position as a waiter at a pretty good restaurant, and that was sort of the beginning of his rise because um, apparently he was a very good waiter, and it was noticed and appreciated by people, and that eventually led to him getting a job at a hotel, and he managed a hotel. So in the beginning, he's just managing hotels for other people, but immediately his hotel management was so good that he was doubling turnover in his first year. And a people person. Yeah, he was a people person, and he his big thing, one of his big things, was that he was really into hygiene. Right. So this is at the turn of the century, not our last century, but the previous century, and hygiene wasn't big yet. But he was sort of ahead of the curve. He was really into hygiene. So the first thing he did was he would transform everything in the hotel to be concentrated on hygiene, make sure things were washable and clean and stuff like that. Have running water and stuff like that, and was really appreciated. And then he started doing some other things that were very clever. Um, he started organizing events at these hotels because people would come there, often a wealthy clientele, but they had nothing to do once they got there, right? It was just the place to go. And so he would organize events, so give them something to do. And you got to remember, this is at a time when there was no television, there was no radio, there was no internet, obviously, there was no there wasn't a lot of activities to do. Uh, as a soap maker, you approve. Uh, so he created events, and people would flock to his hotels, and he became sought out. Other hotels wanted to use him, and one of his guests was Prince Edward from the UK, who was very he was outgoing, and he would travel with his entourage, and he quickly became a huge fan of Ritz and a frequent guest, and he pulled a lot of strings, and he brought a lot of his friends. He got a lot of influential guests because the prince would bring people to his hotel. And then he finally got a job at the Savoy, So some of you may remember I did some live broadcasting from the Savoy Hotel here in London, which is a really nice hotel, upscale hotel. And I ate at one of the restaurants, Victoria's Son, and he managed that restaurant. And he was friends with a Frenchman who created the French cuisine and French standards of cuisine that are world famous now and copied all over the world. And he brought that chef with him to the Savoy. And so the Savoy, you know, leapfrog huge levels by having the Ritz there and having this French chef there, and it became the world's best hotel, and yeah, and so that was the beginning of the Ritz fame, and now we have the Ritz hotels all over the world, and we have all these words in our vocabulary now because of Ritz, like ritzy, and putting on the Ritz. You know, we have a song, right? Putting on the Ritz. So there you go. Well, I think I'm gonna hop on the tube here. Really interesting. Yeah, if you go on YouTube, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, like I said, there's documentaries on there. I found it really interesting. I learned a lot of stuff about Ritz that I hadn't known beforehand. I will tell you, at the end of his life, was very sad because he was really on top of his game, and he insisted on perfection and outstanding service, which he gave the Ritz Carlton and Bell. Yeah, and so he really ran a tight ship, and he had a lot of managers who you know were able to implement his vision. But at the end of his life, he started losing it mentally, and he started having hallucinations, and he would see imaginary figures attacking him and stuff like that. And he got sort of put out to pasture, so to speak. And so he spent the last years of his life alone and in institutions and stuff. Yeah, so it's quite sad. And even still, he was still obsessed with hotels. So he was still, even though like he was years in these institutions and not doing anything, he was still having ideas for hotels, and he was doing drawings and designs of new hotels and a hotel. Because that was one of his big thing. He would design hotels. Um, he did the Ritz in Paris, which was I think that was the first hotel that he owned, and the investors in his company did not want him to do the Paris Ritz. Like initially they did, but the problem is the hotel was very small, and the plans that he had for the Ritz were very expensive. So they told him like this is not going to work. It's too small a hotel, and your designs and stuff were too expensive. So they literally created a separate Ritz Corporation just to do the Paris hotel, to keep it separate from the rest of the Ritz company. And he ended up doing it. And it turns out Ritz was right because he took that small hotel. They only had 86 rooms, okay? And in the first year, he made over $2 million in profits. Uh, so, anyways, this was a lot of money, and and he did very very well from the get go. In fact, when the Ritz opened, they didn't have any vacancies. Right, the hotel was completely booked for I think something like 30 years or 35 years. So which is very unusual for hotels. So he's just constantly booked and super profitable. He had restaurants in there that were profitable. The hotel was profitable. So even despite all the money he was pouring into it, because he did spend a lot of money. Guess went there. Sounds a bit like Breaking Bad, the Mexican uncle. Yeah, could be. Anyways, I should go now. Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.